In today's episode, you'll get to see a 1974 Chevy Caprice Convertible. Welcome everybody to Classic Car ChitChat. My name is Kevin. If this is the first time you're coming to my channel, then welcome. I really appreciate you coming here today. If you've been to my channel before, then as always, thank you so much for the feedback that you leave, for the thumbs up, as well as for you subscribing. It really does mean a lot to me, and I truly appreciate it. In today's episode, you're going to meet a gentleman. You've met him before. His name is Frank Cohn. He hosts the radio show here in Toronto. He has another car. It is a Chevy Caprice Convertible. It is what he calls a project car, which means this is a car he bought knowing that he's going to have to do a full restoration on it. So if you will, this car will be the preview of what the car looks like today. Now, you'll see parts of it have been done, specifically the engine, but he wants to do a full body off restoration all the way down to a frame and rebuild this car back to the original beauty that it should be. So hop in, let's go for a drive. Let's check out this amazing 1974 Chevy Caprice Convertible. You're getting good at this, Frank. You're getting good. Okay, one more time. Wow, Frank.
Not as an impressive noise as the Vet or the SSR, but
Impressive, but
not bad for a boat.
Wow.
So this is my latest addition. I just bought this. This was a garage find. Been sitting in their garage untouched for 20 years. They had heard about me talking about cars on my show, and this woman called me up and says, I've got this car you might be interested in. So when she told me what it was, a 74 Caprice Classic Convertible, I immediately went out, and upon hearing what she wanted for it, I almost broke my hand getting my hand into my pocket to get the wallet out quick enough. So this is a project car. The plans are to do a frame-on restoration on it. So this is going to be sort of the before, and hopefully by next spring I'll have the after.
My God, I'm looking forward to seeing the contrast between the two cars.
Yeah.
Wow. So what year is this again?
Again, it's a 74 Chevrolet Caprice Classic Convertible. Not a lot of these were made in the convertibles.
The thing is enormous, Frank.
Oh, it's a big boat, and it's just like sitting in your living room when you're driving it. I love it.
Actually, it takes me like half an hour to walk from one end to the other, and I'm trying to
take up half the parking lot.
Yes, and I'm trying to be as careful as I can. Wow.
And you could definitely fit your MG in the trunk of this one.
Now
100%.
you're just showing off, Frank. Wow, she's beautiful.
No, she's a good-looking car. It's got, just remember what the mileage on this thing is. I think it's 73,000 miles on it.
Oh my
For a
God.
74, it's pretty low. But luckily, it's got all the parts. Nothing's missing off it.
This is the original roof, or it's got to be a redo?
That's original.
Really?
And apparently when I bought it, the roof was down and we couldn't put it up because the tires were flat, it didn't have a battery, and when we finally got it to Auto Tech for them to get it onto the road, we put the top up and it looks like it's brand new.
You know, this sounds like a bit of a commercial for Auto Tech because it seems that they're the go-to people.
Oh, I've been dealing with them for about 25 years, and they can work on anything from a monster truck down to the tiniest little car. They can work on anything.
Including my MG?
Including your
Okay,
MG. I think they've done a lot of work on MGs.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, I will be looking them up for myself.
Yeah, no, someone just brought in a 73 MG, the hardtop.
Right.
That's 100% original. Looks like it came off the showroom floor for them to do some work on it.
Unbelievable. Okay.
but I love the wire wheels.
Absolutely. Me too. I have a thing for wire
And the
wheels.
fender skirts, which just add a little bit
Yes,
to it.
Yes, yes. You know what's kind of intriguing, and I just noticed this, but that kind of the chrome finish even on the headlamps.
Yes.
What was that called?
It's plastic that's been chromed.
Really?
It's either that or it's pot metal.
But
it's
even
not,
like the upper part of that?
This is something that would have been added on afterwards, these little covers.
Oh, I love it.
Yeah.
Was there a purpose for that, or it just kind of looks cool?
It looks cool.
Yeah.
It's the era of the 70s that was really popular.
I love it.
Yeah, so other than doing mechanical work to this car, I've yet to do anything to it. But the big problem with this is the parts, if we do need them, are going to be harder to get than either the Vet or the SSR.
Really?
Yes. We've already been searching, and I've only found so far one company in the States that may be able to give me some parts.
Why is that, Frank?
Well,
It's
again, in
just so
terms of
rare?
collectible cars, there's a lot of, I mean, the parts for these things weren't saved because at the time I don't think maybe they figured they'd be overly collectible.
Yeah, I see what you're getting at. And then over time,
Yeah.
people like you and I come around and think, oh, what a thing of beauty, and you want to make her alive and kicking again.
Yeah.
What is the engine size on this thing?
It's a 400.
Can we take a look at it?
Yep. Which came, I believe the regular Caprice had the 350, the Classic had the 400.
Oh, wow. She's
It's a heavy
Oh,
sucker.
oh, wow.
Yeah.
This
she's
is
a
not the
beauty.
original engine.
This is the original engine.
Get out of here.
When I brought into Autotech, this thing was a mess. This was all rusty. The valve covers were all rusty. They took them off. They polished them up. They painted the engine for me. We put on a new master cylinder, new radiator, new alternator, tune-up, new starting motor, new battery, new gas tank, because it's been sitting for 20 years. People don't realize it's the worst thing you can do to a car.
Just let us sit.
So we had to replace the gas tank and all the gas lines, rebuilt the carburetor. Now, it's only a 2-barrel on there, and the plans are to take it off and put a 4-barrel on and to take the old manifolds off and put headers on it.
Wow. If this engine fits into my little MG, wouldn't that be something?
Oh
It'd be
boy,
a
the
rocket.
engine weighs more than your car.
Yeah, okay, fine. Yeah, I can see the front end just dip
That's
down.
it.
Wow.
Listen, it's been done.
Yes, it has. Well, they did come with V8s as well, so
Yeah.
wow, I love it.
But it always, when people look at the car, they see the condition, and I open the hood, and they're always amazed at how good the engine looks.
It's incredible.
It's a nice surprise.
Totally. Now I got to ask you the
Yeah.
roof, does it
Yes.
work? Power
Yeah.
roof?
So
Or is it a manual thing?
No, it goes down. Now it doesn't go up and down as nice as the SSR, unfortunately.
Yeah, we were spoiled with
This
that
is
one.
old. This is old technology.
Okay, let's look at it.
Grab the keys. Whoops. I keep forgetting there's clips you have to undo first.
There's a little safety feature built right in
Yeah.
there. There we go.
All right, let's try that again.
Oh, that is so cool. Oh, Frank, that's nice.
Now, it doesn't go down as well as she should, which is again on the list of things to fix, because when it
okay.
wraps
It's
down,
a little bit of a nudge sometimes, maybe.
and there is a tonneau cover that will cover this, but it's in terrible condition, so I've got to
Okay.
get that redone.
All
There's a piece that covers this.
Can we turn the radio off?
Yeah.
That's one thing I forgot, sorry. Oh, I love it, Frank.
Get the rest of the windows down.
Oh, I like that too.
Power windows.
What an elegant car. Absolutely lovely. Let me have a look inside here.
Yep.
My God, the door alone is
It's
huge.
a city block long.
It's obscenely big.
Yeah. But I've had it out on the highway, and boy, is it a dream to drive on the highway for
Bet
such an old car.
So smooth
Oh,
as well,
it's
right?
just incredible.
Oh, wow.
And you get a lot, even with a car like this, I still get a lot of looks and people waving at you, especially with the top down.
I bet.
Yeah. But we're probably going to strip the car right back to bare metal and make sure the body's mint, get all the chrome pieces fixed, and do a little bit of work on the interior.
And bring it back to the original glory, right?
Yeah.
You know what? I have this thing about bench seats in cars. Like, there's just something really cool about them.
Except I'm trying to figure if they had bucket seats in this thing when it was new. I haven't
really?
I don't
Okay.
think they did, but I'm very tempted to do a little bit of customization. Put the bucket seats with a console in it.
Which way does that? Okay. Yes. See, I love the way even that sort
Yeah.
of swings to give a bit more space to get in. Oh, she's lovely, Frank. She really is a little bit of an elegant lady.
Yeah.
That's how I think
Yeah.
of her. And again, you don't see many of these on the roads,
No,
do you?
no, very few.
I guess you do see some that have been turned into hot rods and things like that.
Most
you know,
of
the
them
ones
have
that
been
bounce up and down.
Yes.
Wow. Incredible. How about the trunk space before we go for a drive?
Yep.
How big is that?
I think Jimmy Hoffa's hiding back there.
So this is
showing-
where he ended up, eh?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, good size.
Yeah.
Back in the day when they had full-size spare tires.
Yeah.
too. Yes, that's called patina, by the way, when it starts doing
Well,
stuff like that.
somebody, I mean, this car has had, this is a second paint job, and whoever did a lousy job, and they painted the inside, and all the stuff is flaking off. So we're going to blast all
Oh,
of this off.
right.
I might even have to put a new pan in the trunk,
Yeah.
and we have to do some partial repair of the pans and the floors. So we're going to do all metal work. The whole bottom end of the car will probably get new sheet metal.
And you even have an amplifier in this thing?
The previous owners had put this in. This is obviously not stock.
Okay.
Almost,
say,
too,
is that
almost
Frank?
too high tech.
Yeah. Frank, you've come a long way.
I know. But actually, what's interesting, if you look at this, this is probably the original color. This hasn't been
Right.
painted, whereas this is a bit lighter.
Yes. It's always cool to see what it would have originally looked like.
Yeah.
What's your plan in terms of when you repaint it? Original color, you're going to change it?
No, it's going to go
Back
probably
where it
the
is.
color that it is now.
Yeah.
Yeah, which is close to the original.
I love
A lot of people don't like this color. That was one thing that attracted me to it, is this specific color.
Yeah. I'm
To
a
me,
fan.
it suits it.
Absolutely.
And
I love the pinstriping too.
Yeah. Now, this
miss
is
that.
done afterwards because you can feel it.
Yeah.
The original car would have had it painted on, so when we redo it, we'll paint the pinstriping
Right,
back
right,
on.
right.
And I'm probably going to redo the interior, hopefully in maybe a white leather.
Ooh, now you get me excited.
Yeah, yeah.
Frank.
I'll probably put way more money into the car than it's worth, but I have no intention of selling it, so I'm doing it for me.
Absolutely, and why not?
Yeah.
She's a thing of beauty, though. And again, wire wheels. You just all cars should have wire wheels. I wish my MG had wire wheels.
Yeah.
One of these days. I'm still looking if I ever find the right pair or set.
Now, we put new tires on it, and it's funny, Coker seems to be the only one who makes white wire or the white walls for
Hard
these
to
cars.
find, right? Yes.
And what's interesting, with this thin white wall, these tires were about $180 each.
Right.
If I went to the thicker white walls, $600 each. So I decided to save some money. And this is another car. Again, I had no intention of getting another car, especially after spending all the money on the Corvette, but this thing was just so cheap.
You
I
have to,
couldn't-
you have to stop looking for cars.
I'm a
Frank.
caraholic. I can't help.
it
I can't
seems that
control
way.
myself.
That's a disease, isn't
It
it?
is, definitely. It's like potato chips. You can't eat just one.
That's a good analogy.
Well, what struck my chord with this is my very first car I bought when I was 16 was a 66 Chevrolet. And I had to sell that when mom let me keep it for a year and made me sell it because it was affecting my grades in high school. So this is replacing my 66.
Wow.
But a lot of people, when they first see the front, they think, oh, it's a Cadillac.
Yeah.
Because the grille and with this little
Similar,
emblem
yes.
here and the size.
Oh, it's just stunning. I have a thing about emblems on cars.
Oh,
you
it's
know,
cool.
it's just
Yes.
the coolest thing. The bigger, the better.
Yeah.
Oh, I love it.
And you can video yourself in the chrome half moons on the
I see
on
that.
the lights.
Yes, yes. We can see both of us in there.
There
It's
you
so
go.
big. There we go. I love that. Can we go for a drive?
Everywhere.
in her?
Definitely.
There we go. Look at that. An ashtray in the back.
And that's the day when everybody smoked and it was acceptable and considered healthy.
Yes. So that's the other criteria for Frank buying cars. It's got to have an ashtray.
Yes. New cars don't have it. Now, unfortunately, the cigarette lighter in this car doesn't work, so
Oh
it's
my
going
God.
in the shop next week
Just
to fix that.
first thing to piss you off, right?
Yes. And the clock doesn't work. We got to get that fixed. We're just going to do some minor adjustments before it goes in the shop for the winter to get the body done.
Oh, look at that. It just
But
rides so
what I
good.
love is the look over the hood. It is
Yes.
so massive. When I first bought this, it took me a while to learn how to drive a car with this much frontage again.
But you can
'cause it
actually
takes up
see
the whole lane.
front, right?
Yes.
You can actually see everything. Unlike the modern cars where they kind of just swoop down and you really don't know where the front end is.
I mean, the front of the car is going where you want an hour before you get there.
True enough. Oh, look how smooth this thing is,
Oh,
Frank.
yeah, no. Well, again, I had this whole suspension redone, and they did a great job on it. Because the first thing I do when I get any car is I want to make sure it's very safe for the way I want to drive.
And we know
Now,
how
this
you
is-
like to drive.
And this is with a 2-barrel. She still moves out pretty
she
good.
does, yeah.
Yeah. But when you're looking through the windshield, it looks like it's taking up the entire lane,
It does.
which it probably does.
But it's so smooth.
Yeah.
Like it really is. It's
Oh.
one of those cars you can actually have a cup of tea without anything to really hold it, and it
Yes.
probably won't go anywhere.
I mean, it's a highway cruiser, definitely.
Yes. With elegance.
Yeah.
So how many models or variations of this car would have really existed?
The basic Chevy, I think, was the Biscayne. Then from that, it was the Impala. And then the Impala used to be the top line. Then they came out with the Caprice, which was a grade above
Right.
the Impala. And then they came out with the Caprice Classic,
Right.
which was a one step above that.
Oh, I missed that.
The floating,
Oh,
yes, it
I
just
missed
floats.
that. Yes,
know.
I remember that feeling
Yeah.
now. Yeah.
Like, what's a bump?
Oh, you want
just
you
go-
want to feel that. It is
Yeah.
so good.
Oh, sometimes I like going over the bumps on purpose.
You know what? When I came from England, I was lucky. The very first car I got to sat into was a Cadillac Fleetwood Brougham,
Oh,
73, 74 era,
yeah.
and exactly like this. And the farmer who owned the car, his name was Frank as well.
There you go.
Took me out for a drive, and I just couldn't get over how smooth it was.
Well, that car is this car I think is about 18 and a half feet long. The car you're talking about I think was 22 and
Yeah,
a half.
exactly. It was
feet long.
beautiful.
But I can hardly wait to get the 4-barrel and the headers on this thing. And
You know what?
Then
Shell
it'll sound-
Canada love people like you, don't they?
I know.
Yes. Gas station nearby. Come and visit.
But this one with the 2-barrel also gets great gas mileage.
Mm-hmm.
Except when I fill it up, it's got a tank as big as the one in my truck, $120,
For the full
and
tank.
that's regular to fill this
Yes.
tank up.
There is something so elegant about this car, Frank. And I agree, it's so nice the way you see the entire front of the car.
Yes. Well, I love driving it just to look at the front of it.
Yeah. You forget you're on the road sometimes, just so focused on that.
And as big as it is, with only a 2-barrel, I won't do it to you because I know it gets you nervous, it will lay rubber.
Oh, you can. We can do that. Seriously though? How can it do it with a car this size?
Well, I found that out the other day. The roads were just a little bit wet to get the tires started.
Okay.
Generally, I try not to go overboard and laying rubber with my cars because while it's fun, A, people don't like it, and B, tires are expensive, and I
especially
don't want to ruin my
$180
investments.
a pop, right?
Exactly.
So yeah, I hear you. No, don't be doing that then. The engine sound is so sweet.
And Chevy makes probably one of the best engines on the market. They're almost indestructible. That's why all the hot rod guys, you see all these Ford hot rods, and what do? They stick Chevy engines into them.
I understand.
Which is always a little sacrilegious, but
it does make sense.
yeah.
The smoothness, Frank.
Oh, I know.
Like you just can't get over
Yeah.
it. Like I don't even need a gimbal thing on a car like this. It is just so lovely. How you doing?
Thanks. We're gonna pimp my ride.
I love it.
Thanks, I do too. Just got it.
How old is it?
It's a 74.
74?
Yeah.
Lovely.
And it's guys like that, the guys who would normally pimp out cars,
Exactly.
lower them and all this stuff.
And you know what, Frank? You get the respect
Yeah.
from other car lovers, and it's just the coolest experience.
That's half the fun of having an older car.
It is,
It's
definitely.
the fun you have with it.
Yep.
And you talk to anyone who collects cars, the first thing they do, and usually ask why they got a specific car. My dad had one, my uncle had one, my mother had one. They want the same car, and when they drive it, it makes them feel like they're a teenager again.
Yes.
And it's all of the above is, true.
It is true. Now, even for this one, as you said, it kind of reminded you of, your first car when you bought it, and you want to be able to relive some of those memories and bring back your youth. Because heck, you're just 20 again, right? So it's,
Well, actually, I lied. I'm 21.
Oh, you.
Yeah.
Well, it's been a while since we did the last video, so that's probably why.
Exactly. That's right.
Wow. It is just so incredibly smooth.
Oh, I know. What's interesting is all of my cars are completely different. Like the SSR is nothing like the Corvette.
Right.
This is nothing like those. And the next car that you might want to do is my Crossfire,
Right.
which again is completely different. It's actually more like a go-kart on wheels.
Is that right?
Yes.
Okay.
But I love the sound from the dual exhaust.
Oh, yes.
Little rumble.
It's a sweet rumble, and
Yeah.
it's just nice.
And there's that MG again. We keep,
Yeah,
we
we
keep
just
coming
keep
across
seeing
that.
that,
Boy,
I
is that
know.
ever nice. You should sell that to me.
No, are you kidding? Let's not get silly, Frank. I mean, you're a nice guy and all, but one does draw the line somewhere.
Yeah.
Beautiful. Oh, and these are speakers. Oh, that
Those are
was, again,
speakers in the front,
previous,
and they got two speakers. Again, the previous owners had put those in.
Yeah.
Now, what's interesting, this radio, which is actually a cassette, that's how old this thing is.
Yeah.
When I bought the car, I found the original radio in the back,
Oh, wow.
and then I found another radio that had the 8-track,
Oh, lovely.
and then they obviously had it long enough, they took the 8-track out and put this in.
Right.
So I guess the next step is I could put the one that takes the CDs, which are also out of fashion. I wouldn't put the more modern one in because I wouldn't know how to work it.
You wouldn't put the 8-track back in?
I'd be tempted. I may even have a few 8-tracks left. I got lots of cassettes left. Most people don't. And what came with the car is a Buddy Holly.
Oh, wow.
I haven't put that in yet, but I need to put that in there to see if this works. If it is, I've got a whole bunch of 8-tracks I could try putting in there.
Or cassettes, rather.
Cassettes, yeah. And they had all of these. You can see these little dice things.
Yes.
This one's come off.
Lovely. It's the little touches like that. I mean, it just makes the car so cool.
But again,
it's a beautiful car.
The problem is I never know what car to drive every day. Every time I want to go
what
out.
a problem you have.
It is. I feel guilty. If one car isn't driven enough, I feel guilty that's getting upset I haven't driven it.
And they have personality and feeling.
Yes.
Now, no AC on this thing, right? Or is there?
No, it doesn't have AC, and that's one thing we're going to source. This vent here, which is closed, would take one of the AC vents.
Ah, okay.
And this whole bit here would come out. That was also part of the AC system. So we're trying to source an original AC system for this car, because this is one car I would definitely want to put the air conditioning back in.
So that's how it was done? Like they had dedicated vents, one for AC, one for the heater?
Yeah.
Very interesting. Unlike modern cars today, again, where you share the same ventilation system. Very, very cool. And power, sort of power mechanical side mirrors.
Well, this is all power windows. Oh, the mirror?
Yeah.
Yeah, this has got the little thing that you can just...
That is so cool.
Yeah.
You don't see that either. Very, very nice,
No.
Frank.
The door cards actually aren't in bad shape. They need a good cleaning. It's just what I've noticed is I may get these things cleaned before I replace them, but the steering wheel doesn't seem to match the rest of the interior. Yeah. Now, it is the classic steering wheel. Whether this is the original one or not, I don't know, or whether colors have faded, but I've got a little bit of research to do in this car to see what the proper colors are supposed to be in here.
You're right, though. Now that you point it out, it does look a little different.
It doesn't
perhaps
match.
it doesn't belong.
It doesn't match the rest of the interior.
Right. Maybe there's something to that.
But it's got the nice fake plastic burled walnut look.
Paid extra for that?
Yeah.
Wow. Oh, it's just a beautiful, beautiful car. A little boat.
A big boat.
A big boat. A cruiser.
Yes, it's definitely, it's a classic cruiser.
Oh, Frank.
Yeah.
What an amazing car. And you can't even feel the engine is on. Like there's no vibration. There's nothing.
She just purrs like a kitten.
Yeah, you forget the thing is on even. Oh, I'm in love with this thing. I'm having a tough time deciding which car I like that you have.
I know, I have the same problem, because again, each one's different. So you want to see the top going back up?
Yes, please. Let's do that. Hang on. Oh, you know what? I always forget to ask. My wife always says you should get them to honk their horns, because she's always curious to see what does a horn sound like in these cars. Hang on a second.
Yep.
Let me get close to the front.
The horn isn't impressive. I'm getting that changed too.
All right. Oh. It's not bad.
I think it's kind of pathetic. It's
actually, it's very ship-like.
Yes, that's true. I want to get the second horn, so I've got the dual sound rather than, because it's not the type of horn you would expect from a car like this.
Look at let me just listen to the rumble for a second.
Yeah.
Amazing. Oh, wonderful, Frank. Okay, let's see how the roof works.
Okay. Now, unlike the SSR, which you don't have to do anything more, this thing is a bit of a bugger to get it to clip.
Yeah, do you want me to press?
No.
Good?
No, I've got to get the other one in first. This is something else that'll happy fix. The top has to be realigned. There we go.
Wow.
And then...
But it all adds to the charm.
Yes, definitely.
If it was that easy, then it wouldn't be any fun. But this is so cool.
Yeah.
Wow. Oh, and this is actual glass.
Yes, it doesn't have the plastic window. It has a real glass window in it.
Wow. Because I know my MG has the plastic. It looks silly, but wow.
Now, again, I could be wrong. I think the glass window may have been an option over the plastic one. But no, I love the sound of the rumble from the back. And wait till I get the 4-barrel and the headers on this.
Now, would the original pipes would have been curved down like that too?
I believe so. I'm not 100% sure.
It's music.
And then to put the gas in,
Ah.
we've got to
Right
adjust
in
that.
there.
It's right in there.
So cool.
But this
So
also
cool.
needs to be adjusted so because it's a pain getting that
I
in.
bet. Yeah.
There's a whole bunch of little things that need to be fixed, but
Oh, my,
it's okay. It's a nice project.
she's gorgeous.
Yeah, it's going to be a fun project to do.
And again, it's the Chevy Caprice.
Mhm.
Not the Caprice Classic, just the Chevy Caprice.
No, it's the Caprice Classic.
Caprice Classic, okay.
Yeah. There's a difference.
What would have been the difference?
The trim level,
Okay.
and I was reading, I think, again, you can correct me on this when we're doing research, I think you had to have the Classic version to get the 400 cubic inch V8.
Oh, I see. Right.
Put it this way, I know it came standard on the Classic. I'm not sure whether it was available as an option on the regular Caprice.
But
Might
do you think when these cars came out, you know how you had so many options nowadays, you want this, you want that, whatever. Do you think they had fewer options? Like when you brought the Brougham or the Caprice Classic,
Yeah.
let's say, it would come with, okay, that's how it comes. And you could not add or
No, you
change.
could definitely still add to it.
Really, even back then?
Yeah, well, like again, air conditioning or no air conditioning. Now,
Okay.
obviously, I guess whoever bought this originally, being a convertible, they didn't care about the AC. But with the way our climate is changing now,
Yeah.
like even the SSR, when I'm driving with the top down, there have been times I put the air conditioning on
You
because
need
the
it.
sun beating down on you right now, it's
Yeah,
so hot.
It is hot. I struggle with the MG sometimes, especially with the vinyl seats.
Yes.
It gets hot,
Yeah.
right? But
Now, if anyone who's watching this, I'm trying to find the proper mirror for here.
okay.
It's missing, and we are having trouble finding it.
So if there's anybody out there that knows where to source one of these things, then
Or if they know where any trim pieces are, we've got to redo all the rubber stripping around everything, and we're trying to source those.
But a lot of the chrome and the bright work will be just repolished, do you think? Or
Well,
you gonna
some
try-
can, yeah, we're going to either repolish them, and like there's some dents, like this is dented in here, so if I can't, there are people who will take the original ones and repair them, repolish them. But see, you've got the rubber strip here
Right.
that's missing on this one. This is where it gets really difficult with restoration, because if the body's rusted out or something, it's easy to cut the old metal out, fix it. But when you're missing pieces like this,
Yes.
these are really, really hard to find.
Yeah, you end up almost having to kind of fabricate something yourself
Yeah.
almost to make it work. But,
Yeah.
how difficult is it to actually remove the panel over the rear wheels?
I don't know. I know they did it at Autotech. They took them off when they were doing the suspension, but in terms of how they go back on. But when the car gets redone, hopefully everything's going to
They'll
fit
get
better.
aligned, yes.
They'll get
good.
aligned
Yeah.
better.
I don't know, Frank. You know, whenever I see that on a car, I just fall in love
Yes.
with it. It's
Yeah.
that little extra touch. It just makes it look so much cooler.
Well, it also gives the illusion the car is sitting down lower. Now, right now, from what I can tell, the front end of this car seems to be sitting up a little higher than the back end. So I'm going to check the factory specs, but I may have the front end lower just a couple of inches.
Yes, you're right. Slightly.
Yeah,
Yeah,
just
you
a
do,
little
you do
bit.
know. Or is it again an optical illusion because of
Yeah.
that? Incredible car.
But you see some of the cars, the lowrider cars and stuff, where they do these things, quite often they will purposely have the front end a lot higher than the back end.
My goodness. I'm just so impressed with this car. Again, enough to make a grown man cry.
Yes.
Frank. I mean, she's just
Yeah.
beautiful. Not something you see every day.
And again, this is something you can put the whole family in. When I first got it, I had all my neighbors taking turns piling into the front and the back seats because all my other cars are two-seaters. This is the
Yes.
only first one I can get more than another person in.
You're a popular guy, Frank.
Something.
Oh, she's gorgeous. Well,
Yeah.
thank you, Frank.
Oh,
Again.
it's always my pleasure.